evil doesn't always announce itself. Some hide in plain sight, smiling, charming, blending in, until the moment they strike. In 2026, a new wave of darkness emerged. Serial killers who weren't just cunning, they were meticulous, calculating, and terrifyingly patient. They left authorities chasing shadows and left a trail of victims the world won't forget. Tonight, we go behind the headlines. We uncover the minds, the methods, and the madness of the darkest serial killers of 2026. Prepare yourself. This isn't just crime, it's pure psychology stripped bare. 10. The Digital Stalker of Berlin. In Berlin, a killer operated entirely online, targeting victims through social media, gaming platforms, and encrypted messaging apps. Over months, he created multiple fake personas to gain trust, study routines, and isolate victims before ever meeting them. Every message, every digital interaction was calculated to manipulate, terrify, and control. Authorities later discovered that he had built detailed psychological profiles of each target, predicting their responses to fear and trust. The combination of technology and patience made him invisible until it was too late, proving that the modern predator can exist entirely in the virtual world while causing real-world terror. 9. The Museum Phantom of Paris. A killer haunted Parisian museums, carefully selecting victims during evening exhibitions. He moved among crowds, exploiting lighting, visitor flow, and security blind spots to commit his murders unnoticed. Surveillance cameras only caught fleeting shadows, making it appear as if the victims had disappeared into thin air. His obsession with control over his environment and precision timing demonstrated a level of predatory intelligence rarely seen. Profilers noted that the Phantom of Paris didn't just hunt people, he orchestrated experiences, using public spaces as stages for psychological dominance. 8. The Courier Killer of Tokyo. In Tokyo, a killer exploited delivery systems to track and isolate victims. Predictable schedules, package handoffs, and reliance on logistics became his tools. He documented each interaction meticulously, understanding human trust and routine with chilling accuracy. Victims believed they were interacting with ordinary services, unaware that every step of their day was being monitored and manipulated. His crimes demonstrated that even familiar systems, those built for convenience and safety, can be turned into instruments of control and death. 7. The Charmer of Chicago. This killer used charisma to manipulate victims at social clubs, professional networking events, and gatherings. Neighbors and coworkers described him as polite and reliable, while friends never suspected a thing. He could read social cues, gain trust instantly, and isolate targets with ease. His crimes showed that narcissism and charm can mask extreme danger, allowing predators to operate for months without suspicion. Investigators emphasized that his understanding of human psychology, combined with patience and meticulous planning, made him almost untouchable until patterns finally emerged. 6. The Urban Shadow of New York. Operating in one of the busiest cities in the world, this killer preyed on pedestrians in crowded areas. He used the chaos of urban life to mask his actions, blending into crowds while carefully selecting victims. Every move was calculated, from timing street crossings to positioning himself near predictable paths. Authorities described his methods as predatory intelligence applied to everyday life, demonstrating that visibility does not equate to safety. The urban shadow used observation, patience, and the natural flow of people to turn ordinary city streets into hunting grounds. 5. The Crypto Predator of San Francisco. In San Francisco, A killer exploited cryptocurrency forums and online financial platforms to find isolated victims. By analyzing transaction histories, online behavior, and forum interactions, he identified those most vulnerable to manipulation. Each approach was tailored, appearing legitimate and innocuous. Victims were lured into traps under the guise of opportunity or advice, unaware that their digital habits were being weaponized. Experts noted that his crimes demonstrated the intersection of technical skill and psychological insight, showing that the modern predator could operate entirely in the digital realm while controlling real-world outcomes. 4. The Highway Hunter of Australia. Along isolated highways, a killer studied traffic patterns, weather conditions, and emergency response times. He targeted victims based on predictable routines, knowing exactly when and where they would be most vulnerable. Each attack was meticulously timed and executed, with escape routes planned in advance. Criminal psychologists described his method as surgical patience, noting that the combination of observation, preparation, and timing allowed him to exploit ordinary spaces for extraordinary violence. The Highway Hunter transformed roads meant for travel into arenas of terror. 3. The Doctor of Deception in London. Posing as a medical professional, this killer preyed on patients who trusted him implicitly. Every examination, every interaction was manipulated to isolate, intimidate, and dominate victims. For months, he avoided suspicion by exploiting the authority and expertise associated with his profession. Investigators noted that his crimes demonstrated a profound understanding of human trust, showing how authority can be weaponized to control and harm. Each act was calculated to maintain normalcy externally while committing horrific acts privately. 2. The Twin Shadows of Rio de Janeiro. In Rio de Janeiro, a pair of killers operated in tandem, creating multiple crime patterns simultaneously. They moved quickly across neighborhoods, shifting victims and locations to confuse law enforcement. Their coordination allowed them to exploit gaps in police response and observation, leaving communities in fear. Psychologists emphasized that collaboration amplified their danger, allowing unpredictable attacks that were difficult to trace. The Twin Shadows showed how teamwork in crime can create complexity and adaptability, pushing traditional investigative methods to their limits. 1. The Phantom of Europe. The most notorious serial killer of 2026 remains unidentified, moving across multiple countries. Using digital anonymity, international borders, and human trust, the Phantom executed meticulously planned murders while leaving almost no trace. Investigators struggled to track him because each act was calculated to avoid detection, using patterns that shifted constantly. Experts warn that the Phantom represents the future of serial crime, intelligent, adaptive, mobile, and invisible. The combination of planning, patience, and exploitation of modern systems makes him the deadliest predator uncovered in 2026, demonstrating that even in a hyper-connected world, evil can travel undetected. These 10 killers of 2026 reveal that danger is no longer defined by brute force or obvious threats. It is defined by intelligence, patience, and manipulation. Charm, authority, technology, and routine can be twisted into weapons. Each case emphasizes the fragility of trust and the complexity of human behavior when exploited by someone who understands it better than anyone else. The stories of these killers are not just shocking. They're warnings. They remind us how fragile safety can be, how darkness can hide behind the most ordinary faces, and how curiosity, obsession, or rage can turn a mind into a weapon. If you want to explore more real-life cases, mind-bending psychology, and the darkest corners of human nature, subscribe to the channel and comment below which killer's story shook you the most. And which case do you want us to uncover next? Thank you for watching. Because understanding the mind of evil is the first step toward preventing it.